Training camp is finally underway for the Chicago Bears, and if day one is any indication, this team is going to be a lot more intense, a lot more focused, and a lot more accountable than what we've seen in recent years. The tone has been set, and not just by the players on the field, but by the coaching staff as well, especially new offensive coordinator Ben Johnson and defensive mastermind Dennis Allen. Right out of the gate, we're seeing high expectations, tough decisions, and a level of discipline that's been missing for far too long at Hollis Hall. Let's start with the standouts, because there were a few players who made sure their presence was felt on day one. First up is linebacker Tummaine Edmonds. After a disappointing 2020 season where his impact didn't quite live up to the hefty contract he signed, Edmonds showed up ready to silence some critics. According to multiple reports, Edmonds intercepted Caleb Williams on the very first play of the 11-on-11 drill, reading the quarterback perfectly and jumping the route across the middle. That's the kind of instinct and athleticism the Bears hoped they were getting when they signed him. It was a reminder of the kind of physical force he can be when he's locked in and healthy. Dennis Allen spoke highly of Edmonds, emphasizing his length, range, and speed. Allen believes this guy can be a playmaker in the middle of the defense, someone offenses have to account for on every single snap. And if Edmonds can consistently perform like that, it changes the entire identity of this defense. Rashod Johnson was another name that popped up with a highlight moment. Known more for his short yardage work in 2020, Johnson didn't get many chances to showcase his versatility. But on day one, he made a spectacular one-handed catch that had people buzzing. With Ben Johnson now running the offense, it's already clear that Rashod is going to be used differently. This isn't the same game plan we saw under Shane Waldron. There's a shift happening, and it might just give Rashod the chance to prove he's more than just a bruising back. There are still fans who believe in his upside, and if the early signs are any indication, he might finally get the snaps and the scheme to show what he can really do. We've heard Ben Johnson speak positively about Rashod, about the way he fits into this system, and now we're starting to see that materialize on the field. For a player who's waited patiently for a bigger role, this could be his breakout year. Now, one of the most surprising names to make noise was undrafted free agent J.P. Richardson out of TCU. He's a long shot to make the final 53-man roster, but he turned heads with what might have been the play of the day, hauling in a one-handed diving catch from Tyson Bagent while being closely covered. That kind of effort and concentration, especially from an undrafted guy, can't go unnoticed. The Bears' wide receiver room is deep, and cracking it is no easy task. But if JP keeps stacking days like that, he'll at least earn serious consideration for the practice squad. Maybe more. The fact that we're hearing more about Richardson than a player like Tyler Scott right now says a lot. It's not about draft status anymore. It's about who shows up and who produces. But let's talk about the real headline. From day one, Ben Johnson. Forget the players for a second. Ben Johnson might have been the most impactful presence on the field. The standards he's already putting in place are loud and clear. Reports say he pulled the entire starting offense, including Caleb Williams, off the field during a 7-and-7 drill because of sloppy execution. He wasn't having it, and that's exactly the kind of leadership the Bears have been missing. This isn't just a guy installing plays. This is a coach demanding accountability from the jump. He's not allowing bad habits to form, and he's not accepting mediocrity, especially not from the unit. That's supposed to be the identity of this team going forward. Johnson reportedly got vocal, laid it all out there, and let it be known that this is not how the Chicago Bears offense is going to operate, not under his watch. And you have to love that. You need that. Too often we've seen coaches tiptoe around issues or let things slide in the name of patience or process. But Ben Johnson is drawing the line early. He's not here to coddle. He's here to compete. That's how you build culture. That's how you lay the foundation for something real. And yeah, it's day one of camp. Things are going to be messy. Timing's going to be off. Players are still learning a brand new system, but it's not about perfection. It's about expectation. It's about setting the tone now so that by the time week one comes around, everyone knows exactly what's expected of them. Johnson even said to players, "You're done as in you're not meeting the standard, you're off the field." That kind of tough love might not be easy to hear, but it's necessary. It's how you get better. Of course, the big question now is how the offense will respond to that challenge. Caleb Williams is still getting his feet under him. This is his first NFL training camp. He's adjusting to playing under center more than he ever did in college. Learning a brand new offense, trying to develop chemistry with a new group of receivers. There's a lot being thrown at him, and yes, he had a shaky start on day one, but that's okay. That's expected. What matters is how he and the rest of the starters bounce back in the coming days. Will they take the message to heart and tighten things up, or will they crumble under the pressure? That's what training camp is for, figuring those things out, growing through the adversity. And with someone like Ben Johnson leading the charge, you get the sense that this team isn't going to be allowed to take the easy route. We also heard from Dennis Allen, who wasted no time sending his own message to the defense. You have to pay the toll. You have to pay the price. It's a privilege to be on this defense. That's a quote that should be printed out and taped above every locker. This is a defense that ranked near the bottom of the league last season when 7th in total defense, 28th against the run, and Allen is making it clear that things are going to be different. The Bears brought in new pieces like Dietrich Wise, Grady Jarrett, and Shamar Turner to reinforce the defensive front. They're expecting big things from guys like Gervin Dexter, Tyreek Stevenson, and Yaquin Brisker, but none of that matters without the right mindset, and Allen is demanding that mentality right now. He's not easing in. He's not sugarcoating. He's putting it on every player. If you want to be a part of this defense, you're going to have to earn it every single day. The message from both coordinators is consistent. This is not going to be the same old Bears. Execution, discipline, and accountability are the new standard. And while there's still a long road ahead, seeing that level of intensity and focus from day one is encouraging. It gives you hope that this coaching staff might finally be the one to flip the script. Of course, there are already some injury concerns that we can't ignore. Jalen Johnson, who's been vocal about wanting a new contract, is reportedly dealing with a leg injury that will keep him out for multiple weeks. The team says it's not a long-term concern and they believe he'll be ready to go by the start of the season, but it's still not great to see your top cornerback sidelined before camp even really gets going. Veteran Trey Flowers is stepping in, and there's an opportunity here for someone like rookie Zay Frazier to earn more reps. But you need Jalen healthy, plain and simple. He's the anchor of your secondary, and missing this time hurts, especially when continuity is so important in the defensive backfield. Then there's Luther Burden, who's been dealing with multiple soft tissue injuries since spring and still hasn't been a full participant. That's another player who was expected to have a big role in this new offense, especially in the slot. The Bears brought in Oladime Zakos, which helps provide some depth, but Burden needs reps. He needs time with Caleb. He needs to get into rhythm. And the longer he's out, the harder it's going to be to hit the ground running once the season begins. He arrived at camp in shape, which is good, but you can't build chemistry from the sideline. That's just the reality of it. And let's not forget about the expectations for Caleb Williams himself. Ben Johnson already made it clear that one of the goals for Caleb this season is a 70% completion rate. That's a high bar. Only 5 quarterbacks in the entire league hit that mark last year. But Johnson wants that to be the standard for his offense, and he's not backing down from it. Caleb said his personal goal is to become the first 4,000-yard passer in Bears history, and that 70% completion rate is a big part of making that happen. You get there by making smart decisions, by taking what the defense gives you, by being accurate in T. He's short in intermediate game, and Johnson's offense is going to put him in position to do that with play-action tight end heavy sets and creative route combinations. The tools are there. The coaching is there. Now it's up to Caleb to develop the rhythm, the timing, and the consistency needed to hit that next level. The Bears also made an early roster move, cutting defensive back Tarvarius Moore. No huge surprise there. The team's depth at defensive back is solid, and with Trey Flowers coming in, a move had to be made. Moore joined the team in the spring of 2024, but the numbers game caught up with him. Expect more of these minor adjustments as camp continues and the roster takes shape. With only one official cut-down day now in the NFL, teams have more flexibility to trim their rosters gradually instead of all at once. But the message remains the same: perform or be replaced. So as day one wraps up, the biggest takeaway is the culture shift already happening inside Hollis Hall. Players are being challenged, coaches are being vocal, standards are being enforced. It's not perfect yet, and it shouldn't be, but it's real. And for the first time in a long time, it feels like the Bears might finally be building something that can last. Not just a flash in the pan, not just another false start, but a true foundation for sustained success. And if day one of training camp told us anything, it's that this Chicago Bears team isn't just looking for progress, they're demanding transformation. The pressure is already real, the expectations are sky high, and the message being delivered by the coaching staff isn't one of patience. It's one of urgency. That's what separates good teams from great ones. The great ones don't wait until week one to start acting like contenders. They build the habits, the chemistry, and the execution now. That's what Ben Johnson, Dennis Allen and this new-look coaching staff are pushing for. But with that intensity comes growing pains, and that's what we're seeing now. This isn't about panic. This is about putting the microscope on every detail so the Bears can start cleaning up the stuff that's held them back for years. Let's take a deeper look at what's really going on with this offense, starting with Caleb Williams. The number 1 overall pick came into training camp with all eyes on him, and naturally every mistake he makes is going to be amplified, but context matters. He's operating in a completely new system, learning NFL coverage, is adjusting to the speed of the game and building chemistry with teammates he's never played with. That's a lot. And while some early struggles were reported, like the interception to Tummaine Edmonds and a couple of sequences where the offense looked out of rhythm, none of that should set off alarm bells. It's day one. What should stand out is how Caleb handles adversity. Does he shrink from it, or does he learn from it? Everything we've heard from inside Hollis Hall points to a young quarterback who's engaged, curious, coachable, and putting in the work. That's what matters most right now, not perfection but progress. And with Ben Johnson setting a high bar, the learning curve may be steep, but the support system is strong. Ben Johnson isn't just molding a quarterback, he's building an identity. The Bears' offense hasn't had a true identity in years. Under previous regimes, it felt like they were always guessing, always reacting, never imposing their will. That's changing. Johnson's approach is meticulous and his philosophy is rooted in efficiency. He wants balance, he wants spacing, he wants players who understand situational football, and most importantly, he wants execution. That's why he didn't hesitate to yank the starting offense when things got sloppy. He's not waiting until preseason to send a message. He's doing it now. And that discipline will pay off down the line. We've seen it before. Look at what he did with Jared Goff in Detroit. Goff was written off by much of the league, and Johnson helped him rediscover his confidence and become one of the most efficient quarterbacks in football. Now imagine that same structure and attention to detail applied to a young talented prospect like Caleb Williams. That's the ceiling we're talking about here. But building an offense isn't just about the quarterback. It's about every piece on the board moving in unison. Rashod Johnson is a prime example of that. He was underutilized last season, rarely targeted in the passing game, and stuck in a very narrow role, but early reports suggest that's changing. Ben Johnson sees Rashod as more than just a power back. The one-handed grab in practice is a small detail, but it speaks volumes. This coaching staff is going to find creative ways to get him involved, and that matters because versatility is key. In today's NFL, a guy like Rashod, who can pass, protect, catch out of the backfield, and grind out tough yards, becomes a real asset when used properly. It's not just about giving him the ball, it's about putting him in positions to succeed. That's what good coaches do. And then you have the wild cards. Players like J.P. Richardson, the undrafted free agent who wasn't even on most fans' radars a few months ago, but is already making a name for himself. His one-handed diving catch was more than just a highlight, it was a statement. He belongs, and now he's officially in the mix. With injuries piling up, these reps matter more than ever. You never know who's going to emerge. The Bears have seen this before. Sometimes it's not the most hyped player who makes the difference. It's the one who treats every snap like it's the only one he's going to get. That seems to be JP's mindset right now, and it's exactly what you want in camp. Now let's go back to Dennis Allen and this defense. The defensive coordinator didn't hold back after day one. His quote, "You have to pay the toll. You have to pay the price. It's a privilege to be on this defense," is more than just coach speak. It's a cultural reset. Last year's defense was flat out bad. Bottom 5 in almost every major category. They couldn't stop the run. They gave up chunk plays in the passing game, and they lacked any kind of consistent physicality. That's not acceptable, not in Chicago, a city that built its football identity on defensive dominance. Dennis Allen knows that. And from day one, he's making it clear that playing on this unit means something again. It means working harder. It means studying longer. It means pushing yourself and your teammates. You don't earn a spot on this defense just by showing up. You earn it by grinding. That's the mindset Allen is instilling, and you can already feel the shift. There are also new faces expected to help drive that shift. Dietrich Wise and Grady Jarrett bring a veteran presence and proven production to the defensive line. Rookie Shamar Turner brings raw potential and athleticism. Tyreek Stevenson and Yaquin Brisker are still young, but they've shown flashes that suggest they can be foundational pieces if developed the right way. And then there's Tummaine Edmonds, who we talked about earlier. If he can be the leader in the middle that Allen needs him to be, it lifts the entire unit. The pieces are there, now it's about bringing them together. Of course, it's not all smooth sailing. Injuries are already a factor. Jalen Johnson's leg issue isn't expected to linger, but any time missed is critical, especially when a player is pushing for a new contract. He's one of the team's top defenders, and without him on the field, the Bears will have to lean on veterans like Trey Flowers and hope younger players like Terrell Smith or Kyler Gordon step up in his absence. You want Jalen healthy, you need him healthy. But if nothing else, this is a chance for depth to be tested. And that's what training camp is all about. Then there's the situation with rookie wide receiver Luther Burden. He came into the offseason as one of the more exciting offensive additions, a slot weapon with yards after catch ability and strong hands. But soft tissue injuries have kept him off the field, and it's becoming a bit of a pattern. He missed August, he missed minicamp, and now he's missing early training camp practices. That's valuable time he could be using to build chemistry with Caleb Williams, to master Ben Johnson's complex route trees, to earn trust in critical situations. Instead, he's playing catch-up, and that matters. Rookie wideouts already face a steep learning curve, and missing reps only makes that climb harder. The Bears brought in Oladime Zakos for depth, which helps, but make no mistake, they need Burden to be a factor this season. His absence doesn't derail the offense, but it limits the options. And in a scheme as multiple as Ben Johnson's, having every weapon available matters. Caleb Williams himself knows what's on the line. When asked about his personal goals, he didn't hesitate. He wants to be the first quarterback in Bears history to throw for over 4,000 yards. Think about that for a second. This franchise, with all its history, has never had a 4,000-yard passer, not one. Caleb wants to change that, and Ben Johnson wants to help him get there. The 70% completion goal they've talked about, that's not just a nice round number. It's a target that keeps the offense efficient, the chains moving, and the defense resting. It forces smart throws. It discourages hero ball. It's the kind of discipline that helps young quarterbacks grow, but it doesn't come easy. Only 5 quarterbacks hit that mark last season. One of them was Jared Goff, who again was coached by Ben Johnson. So this isn't just theory. It's a proven model being implemented in real time. There will be bumps. There will be bad practices. There will be moments where the offense looks out of sync, where the defense gives up a big play, where a rookie misses an assignment. That's training camp. But what matters is how this team responds, and so far the response has been encouraging. Players are buying in, coaches are demanding more, standards are being raised. And for the first time in a long time, there's a sense that the Bears are building something sustainable. Not just hype, but real foundational growth. The days of moral victories and we'll get M next year are over. It's time to demand more. It's time to expect more. And with leaders like Ben Johnson and Dennis Allen holding the reins, it finally feels like the Chicago Bears are heading in the right direction. Whether they get there or not, we're going to find out. But this camp, this first week, it's a hell of a start. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Chicago Bears.